Us in this hour, we are continuing our conversation with our new COO, Mr. Chris Maroleng. He, of course, is the Chief Operations Officer here at the SABC. He started in the position last Thursday, so it's all very, very new for him. And it's really lovely that we've had the opportunity to get some of his ideas and chat to him here on the program. Once again, Chris, thank you very, very much for staying with us on the program.
It's a privilege.
A couple of people writing in already, and I think one of the most exciting things that you have said and people looking forward to it is the aspect of embracing digital, embracing technology, and bringing the SABC not only to South Africans and average South Africans, but to the continent, because it is a big broadcaster on the continent as well.
It's a major continent, and I think one of the things that a lot of people miss, especially here in South Africa, is that really the SABC also acts as the representation of South Africa's national interest to the rest of the continent and indeed the world. And it's incumbent on us really to act and ensure that in everything that we do, we act as a good representative of what South Africa represents and its national interest. I think the important thing when we contextualize the SABC within the continent is that it's one of the most capacitated broadcasters on the African continent and really serves as a good example of what a public service broadcaster should be engaged in.
Yeah. Let's talk politics now, because whichever way you look at it, this position comes with a lot of politics.
Yes.
We'll start off with your appointment.
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to interact with the communications minister? Because it was her that said, no, I know nothing about this appointment. What's happened since then? Yeah,
well, it's been an interesting dynamic because the board itself are the primary interface with our stakeholder, or rather, yes, our stakeholder representative, our shareholder representative, who is the Minister of Communications. And our board has been very resolute in ensuring through my appointment that they insist on the independence of the SABC from political interference. Look, Leanne, my entry into the SABC has not been a political appointment in any way. My understanding has been that the board has brought me in as someone who they believe has the technical competence to really move forward the public broadcaster. And in this regard, I think my role is not going to be to engage in the political space, but really to try in many ways to depoliticize the SABC, because in essence, what the public broadcaster should represent is the face of the people of South Africa, irrespective of their political affiliation, irrespective of their religious or whatever affiliations they have. And I think it's important. And the lesson of the past is that we have very strong mandates. For example, the SABC Charter, the Broadcast Act, the regulations that come from ICASA that require us as a public service broadcaster to act objectively and fairly, not in the interest of any political party, but really in the interest of South Africans.
Yeah, you know, it's wonderful and refreshing listening to what you have to say. It is. But we've had past COOs, CEOs, chairmen of the boards that have come here and said the same thing, that somewhere along the line, political interference still takes grip of a public broadcaster. We've seen it happen time and time again. How can you sense something different?
Yes, I can.
You can feel it.
And I'll tell you why. The tone has been set from our board right from the get-go. You can see the editorial policy that they've set up relating to the news on how we need to cover current affairs and news, but more importantly, the tone that they have set in relation to the manner in which they engage with our shareholder representative, being the Minister of Communications. They are not saying that they want independence away from South African national interest. What they're saying, Leanne, is that they want to empower people like you and me who work here at the SABC to do their work without fear of any political interference. And I think as we move on towards this very sensitive period in the history of this country, as we go to a national election in 2019, it's very important that we set that tone that has been established by the board, which is that we are independent. We are here to cover the news without fear or compromise or contradiction, present relevant content in the interest of the people of South Africa. That's what my board has told me. And that is exactly what I'm going to be engaged in. Certainly, I know many people like me come here, we make big promises, we try and present a good face. And this is what typically does. But what I can assure you, Leanne, is that what makes this different is that I have a board who are very firm in ensuring that I stay true to the vision and the strategy and the policies that they want to introduce, which should make the SABC free from the kind of interference that is even political of the past.
We leave it there. We thank you. We wish you luck. And it's a pleasure having you in this position. The COO of the SABC. This is our new CEO that, of course, has been in the position since Thursday, Mr. Chris Maroleng. And your time is valuable, and we thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leah.
All right, let's take a break here on the program. No, actually, no, we're not.